Let all cats old enough to catch their own prey gather here beneath the tall rock for a clan meeting.
Miouooo, I'm Simon.
And I'm Evelyn.
And I'm Estrella.
And today we're going to be discussing Tallstar's Revenge chapters 29, 30, and 31.
Our spoiler policy is that spoilers are fun, so yeah.
You might get spoiled, but
it
not
will
by
be
the
fun.
quality of our podcast.
Anything for follow-up from last episode or any episodes prior? I have follow-up from 15 seconds ago.
What?
Oh, cool.
That is the most, dour, unpleasant opening I've ever heard to a podcast. You sounded like you hate being here.
Oh my god!
It was very
Come
sad.
on.
For fandom news, I don't really care about trying to look things up, but there was some sort of art controversy with a new cover. There were a bunch of disabled cats who were portrayed with their disabilities hidden or something, and people were mad about it. Because this kind of thing happens a lot, it seems. But yeah, that's all I have.
It doesn't surprise me that they would have done that. They've got a lot of issues with their disabled cats, and also the new art style is really something.
Oh yeah, the new art style, of course. It's very bad.
It's very AI.
But yeah, I guess
generated energy.
It really does look like they just entered some prompts, and then that's what they came up with.
Mm-hmm.
It says for the new Warrior Cat's Ultimate Guide, Briarlight has hind legs paralyzed, and she's just sitting down, and you can't see her hind legs. And then there's Cinderpelt with twisted hind legs. We're seeing her from the front, so we can't see her hind legs.
I mean, we never see the whole cat in the covers, though.
We don't. We have Jagged Peak, twisted hind leg.
Oh, his hind leg is deliberately covered by a plant.
Yeah. Just a convenient branch.
Yeah.
And then there's Brightheart, half of her face mauled, lost an eye. And we definitely see her face here. I don't know what the controversy is. Maybe it's supposed to be a lot more severe than what's portrayed, I think.
Yeah.
This doesn't even look that bad, but I think she's I don't think there's fur over half her face.
She's missing a little fur on her nose.
Oh, I guess so. But then there's fur all over the place except for where the scratches. There's just a little bit of scratches.
The scratches aren't skin though, it's just fur of a darker color.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like a injury really. It just looks like it's glossed over.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like I can see individual strands of fur over the injury.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have anything else to say because I didn't feel like doing more research.
There were other things in the fandom news. The little FAQ that they did. And it does make it sound like there's maybe only 2 errands.
Oh, do we want to do this today too?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, I mean, there's a lot of it is not that interesting. The pieces aren't really from reading this FAQ about the future of warriors is that I'm pretty sure the only active errands are Cherith Baldry and Kate Carey. Although there are many mentions of a story team, and I have no idea who those people are, how many of them there are. But also in this, it sounds like it sounds like there's another arc. They're plotting the next arc of the books.
Ninth arc. Arc.
Which, I recall correctly, they were saying that it was over, kind of, and that they weren't going to do them anymore. And they go into how they're interested in diving more into the backstory and more prequel stuff between Dawn of the Clans and End of the Wild. So I think that's in the future.
And here we're talking about an article called Warrior Cats HQ Answers Your Questions. I gotta say, like, I guess having future arcs, like, in the past could be okay. I like the old territory. Like, I don't really care, but also, like, what other ideas do they have for the future?
Yeah, I'm just like, oh, I think it's gonna get like either crazy or boring. Even more
Yeah,
so
what
than it
else is
already
there?
is. Yeah, I was ready for them to be done making them.
Yeah, I mean, it's been so much. It just keeps going. It is interesting that Kate and Sheriff, like, they started out, they are the OGs, and they're
Hmm.
still there, still going strong.
Committed to the bit.
Yeah, yeah, and I do wonder, like, how much do they actually do? Because I feel like at the beginning, they wrote the books, and, like, Victoria, like, helped with like, had the idea and did the outlines and stuff, and then I'm sure they had editors and whatnot, but it feels like it's different now, so I wonder
Yeah, it's
how much they actually do
I'm
this.
really curious about the story team and what that entails.
We keep talking about, like, actually figuring out how exactly they do that, so maybe one of these days we'll make the effort. Okay, anything else? Okay, let's do the quote of the week. I'm really excited about this one. This is one of my favorites. It says, "I still feel the same about her, even after that stupid episode with the vole." That's from Rootpaw in the Lost Stars, in Lost Stars, chapter 17. The stupid
Very
episode with
good.
the vole.
I don't know what to say.
Mm. Do you remember that?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember
There
that.
was, like, a gift of a vole or something.
Mhm. He tried to give her a bowl.
Oh, and she didn't want it.
Yeah, there was this whole thing. Okay, let's get into the book. Chapter 29. City life doesn't suit him very well. Vicious dogs, slang he doesn't understand, and rats you aren't supposed to eat. Why was he so confused by the word goner? It isn't even real slang. Other than that, he met Jake. He met a kitty pet who's scared of clan cats, and he isn't making much progress in finding the rogues. Wow, what a great summary. These are like full
Yeah,
summaries.
it's not like 3
Thank
words.
you. Can prove that I actually did read the chapters, like I always do, except for that one time that I didn't because I didn't have enough time. The summary, for once, mine was longer than the cliff notes.
Yeah, here we
Hmm.
go. Talltail gets chased by a dog and manages to escape. He runs through the two-leg place.
He sees another dog attacking Jake. Talltail learns that Jake already knows about the clan cats. Jake thanks him and the two part. Wait, so I didn't put dogs in my summary.
You did,
Uh,
Oh,
didn't you?
good, did
You
I?
said vicious dogs.
Oh, yeah,
He
I
said
did.
vicious dogs, yeah.
I forgot about that. Yes, the vicious dogs, okay.
All right. Talltail sees a ginger and black she-cat. She is frightened of him and tells him nothing.
Talltail, in desperate need of food, eats a rat.
It's a dead rat that you found on the ground.
So what's happening? The dog again. For like the third time.
It's so annoying. There's like 2 dogs in this or something, and I'm like,
Yeah.
All of the dogs are out for blood at every moment, and none of them are kept contained by their owners.
Yeah, what is up? Seriously, with the dogs here.
it's that the city has stray dogs.
I mean,
I
most of the
don't know.
time the
I thought
dogs get yelled at by a person. So I'm pretty sure most of the dogs are owned by people.
Yeah, and actually, like, what stray dogs have you ever seen in a city? I've never seen that.
Well, remember in the first arc when Tiger Claw like found those dogs to use?
Yeah, but like in real life. I don't know. Is that
Well,
even a thing anymore?
Mother used to see dogs, but that was in Hungary.
Yeah, in like the 1980s.
He got hurt by one of the dogs, right?
And he wishes that Barkface were there with soothing herbs.
Imagine those soothing herbs mixed with saliva, all crushed up with your spit, soaking into your wound, into the patch of raw flesh on your shoulder. Wouldn't that feel so good?
It would. It actually is so ridiculous. Like you're just chewing leaves and putting them on your open wound. Or
Mm-hmm.
maybe it's not an open wound on the raw flesh. Sounds
Yeah.
like he's about to be put in the oven with the herbs on him. So right here at the beginning of the chapter now we get Jake, a handsome ginger Tom.
Mm-hmm. He's
Very
about to
nice.
get eaten by a dog.
So Talltail saves Jake by going onto the wall and then jumping onto the dog's back and like just like shredding it.
Because that's sure sign of the romance, because in Warriors, it's always like someone saves someone.
Yeah, with violence.
It specifically says that Talltail dropped onto all fours. Wouldn't that just be like
Yeah.
normal? Why does it have to specifically say that he?
That's true. That is the natural state of the cat. Yeah, it didn't stick out to me, but wait a minute.
It's because he's up like this swiping. Whoosh, swipe, swipe.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
but
he's standing up and swiping and then okay.
it still feels weird.
Okay. Yeah.
There's the goner part, where Taller doesn't understand it. Like goner? Like, is he just saying that? Like, does he know the word, or is he just saying that? Or, like,
I think he doesn't. It makes no sense that he doesn't know certain things and does know certain things.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of
It's
that
really
now that we are meeting Jake.
yeah. Now you have a note here.
Oh yeah, he says I'm not here to make friends. Like he's on a competition show trying to win.
Yeah. I'm not here to make friends, I'm here to win. Or I'm here to murder somebody in cold blood.
mm,
Yeah.
it's not cold blood.
I mean, I think that's like the legal term for it. It's premeditated, you know?
Oh yeah, in the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's tracking
Tall
this cat down to kill him.
Yeah, like a snake would. Well, Talltail warns Jake to be more careful in the future, which is ironic considering like how he keeps being chased and attacked by dogs. Like, you do not have a great track record yourself.
And then, yeah, Telltale is like wondering why Two Legs have fences and walls and such. And thinks, didn't they have scent marks? And just, I want to know how often scent marks keep other cats out of your borders. Because this series wouldn't exist if scent marks actually kept other cats out of your territory. They're a warning to not
Yeah.
come over here, but you can still very easily cross them.
Well, you can climb over a fence easily too.
Yeah, but it is a thing where it's like, it's difficult, and sometimes there are barriers that they can't really get over. You know, they can't get in and out of a house without help. They can't just, like, get out of it. Scent marks, they literally do nothing to stop you from walking somewhere. That is why they have fences.
Yeah. Yeah, imagine the clan with actual fences, like walls. I bet they would like that.
Yeah.
Maybe the Tullers can start building the wall.
Build the wall.
Build the wall.
Keep those other claims out.
We have another herring incident. I'm curious
Yeah.
to read other ones now. I need to read another Warriors book that isn't this one and just see how often they hare places or if it's truly just this one.
Yeah, I know. Uh, even better than hares. This random cat that she meets, she scrabbled from the bush and hared toward the fence. What does
There's a
that
lot of
mean?
different things.
What Scrabble? That's a game.
Yeah, she placed
Hmm.
her triple word score down, turned into a rabbit towards the fence, and then leapt over it.
I think I might have just seen a mistake. Because
What?
Telltale meets this kitty pet. Any rogues around here recently? Only you. And then Telltale gazed at her wearily. I'm a clan cat. Which wearily is like
Yeah.
tired. So I'm not sure if it's supposed to be warily or if they really meant wearily.
Yeah.
Yeah, and did they mean scrambled instead of scrabbled?
Well, they could have meant wearily because it says later he was tired.
Oh, maybe. There's been a couple places in this PDF that there was a typo, and I don't know if it was just a problem with the PDF or if it was the book.
I'm sure scrabbled would be a word they would use.
Yeah, it can be hard to know with these British people. Well, the chapter ends with him eating the rat.
He was trying to ignore the tiny jabs in his belly.
It is so very clearly not safe for him to be eating. Everything about this whole thing is just like, don't. He immediately feels sick and he just keeps eating it. I don't understand how hungry he has to be for this to seem like a good idea.
Yeah, he thinks I ate too fast. He just found a dead rat in the corner of the shed.
I mean,
Which
unlike
he knows
his,
what that's called, by the way.
I think it's like his third bite, and it says his belly heaved. He's like struggling not to vomit, and he's just started eating it, and he just finishes the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then immediately falls asleep.
That's not supposed to happen when you eat.
No.
Not to mention the sharp taste to its flesh.
Yeah, but it was barely noticeable, so that's fine.
Well, that was a really short chapter to start with. It's over.
Yippee! You!
Yeah. Okay, chapter 30, ready?
He got food poisoning and Jake got his household to take him to the vet and he spent the day inside recovering and talking with Jake and stuff and they slept together in a nice soft nest. Gay.
Sensational. The wiki cliff notes. The rat was poisoned. Jake leads his two-leg to Talltail, and they take the young warrior to the vet, saving his life.
Talltail comes to in Jake's two-leg den. Talltail is inside what Jake calls a vet basket.
Jake's two-leg gives Talltail food and water.
Talltail has to make dirt, and Jake shows him to a litter box.
Jake's two-leg brings in Jake's bed. Jake explains how his two-leg is like kin to him.
Talltail tells Jake about the clans.
The black and white Tom wonders if this is part of his destiny, being in a two-leg den, eating kitty pet slop, making dirt in a box. He hears Stan Gorse's voice say that he is a warrior and always will be.
I feel like they call it slop a lot, but that makes it sound like it's wet food to me, and every time they actually describe it, it's dry food. So I have beef with that.
I feel like I made a note of that later, yeah. It's not slop, it's like the opposite of slop.
No, it's dry pellets.
Yeah, which sometimes they do talk about the dry pellets, but yeah, I think in this chapter he like thinks of it as slop and it's definitely pellets.
Yeah, he just knows what it's called. Like, he knows about sloth from his clan mates, so that's what he just calls it.
Well, it's time for baby's first rat poisoning.
It says that they take the young word to the vet, implying that Jake also does.
Yeah, he's a part of it.
Yeah. As you said, it's baby's first rat poisoning. A rite of passage.
He got rat poisoned.
He's like, what's happening? And he's really bad, and he vomits, and then he vomits again, and he's outside, and he's drinking some water, and then Jake is there.
He's in agony.
It's incredible that he doesn't die, and also it makes no sense that he doesn't die.
Maybe
That was really lucky.
Maybe the rat only ate a little bit of the poison. Just enough to kill it, but
Was
not enough to
that
kill
it
a
killed
cat.
the whole thing?
But a little rat.
No, I think that this is crazy. I think that this is one of the most insane things that never doesn't kill a cat that happens to one of them. And like Jake does, even if everything works out perfectly, Jake finds him immediately after he is sick, somehow immediately gets his two-leg to come and figure out what he's doing, and like come find this other cat. The two-leg immediately gets that cat in the car and takes it to the vet, and the vet isn't far away, and the vet can immediately help this cat. It's just like all of that would have to happen for him to be fine.
Middle of the night. Maybe he's just exaggerating about his belly being gripped in vicious jaws with teeth that bit through fur, skin, muscle.
It is really impressive that Jake got his two-leg to come out and find him.
And he's just like, fine then. It's pretty wild.
He even gets convulsions.
Yeah.
It's really bad.
He thinks he's dying, and he's like, I'm sorry I didn't avenge your death, Sandcourse. Yeah, that was pretty crazy. What a start to the chapter. All these descriptions of like his horrible torment.
Yeah, and just also thinking of like being the two-leg as a person who's owned a cat. And like if my cat was screaming at me, it would take me a minute to follow it and be like, what's going on? You know? Cats will just yell at you sometimes.
Yeah.
If Misty meowed at me like, come on, we need to go over here, I would just like put some kibbles in her bowl and go to bed.
Yeah. Jake explains that Talltail was taken to the vet, and it just is still so baffling to me how many words the kitty pets know from the two legs, and they still, Jake included, still doesn't know that a car is not alive. Or what it's called, or anything about it. But he knows what the vet is.
It really is completely, it makes no sense at all. Because the kitty pets can go into the car and see the two-leg turning it on and operating it. It's like obviously
Yeah, see
not
that
alive.
it never does anything without a two-leg in it. Like,
except for those
also,
new ones.
How does he know that it's called the vet? Because once the two-leg is there and they're like talking to each other, he doesn't know what they're saying. He's not speaking human English. So how does he know it's the vet?
Yeah, like, I mean, so the books are translated from cat into English, but why are there two different words for the vet for cats?
It's just,
I mean, yeah, like vet and cutter.
it's just a cultural difference between the warriors and the kitty pets. I mean,
But
people,
they should
like,
know
all
what
languages
cars
have
are.
dialect.
They should know what cars are.
There's no excuse anymore.
Well, Talltail is shocked that the medicine no fur cured him.
I am too.
So I have some commentary about race in Two Legs. We see that the Two Leg is described as the wide pink face crinkled. I feel like in the earlier books there was always described as pink faces. But in the later books we see like pink and brown faces. I've noticed this. Progress.
Wow. Hashtag end racism.
So they talk some more, and then my next note is, I'm going out, Jake told him suddenly. Where? Just out. And it really struck me as like a very human, like parent-teenager interaction. Like that's
Yeah,
something
or
that
like
teenagers say
couple
being asked.
in a fight.
Yeah.
Where is he going?
Out.
He's just going out.
What do you mean going out? Where is he going?
He's stepping out on the town.
Is he gonna visit any establishments?
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. They do later, I think, in the next chapter. That's an establishment, you could say. So yeah, like we were saying, Jake had come back, and then Telltale thinks of the kitty pet slop, which is clearly tiny brown pebbles.
A few, too. Oh, he's throwing them in the thing. I was like, just feeding them a few pieces of kibble at a time. It does make sense.
It also says the two-leg purred and dropped few brown pebbles through the mesh. What is that? Like, I can meow, but I can't purr. Some pretty good purring, actually.
But people don't do that normally.
No. So Talltail creeps forward and sniffs the pebbles. They smelled a little bit like prey, but different, like the water. He thinks, why did Two Legs add weird scents to everything? Didn't they like ordinary tastes and smells? He really doesn't understand how like things work at all. He's very ignorant.
Yeah, he is. I feel like he's one of the worst when it comes to understanding anything about Two Legs. Like, most of the other ones, like,
Yeah.
would kind of dismiss it because this was like, whatever, they're weird freaks. And he's like, why aren't they cats?
Yes. So he eats one, just one, and the flavor was sharper than prey, but not dreadful. Which is really surprising to me that it's sharper than prey.
Yeah. I think raw, freshly dead meat would have a stronger taste.
Yeah. And then he
His
gets let
belly
out, and then he
growls
does something really stupid.
appreciatively.
Oh yeah. I'm sure he's really hungry after not eating for a
I
while.
know, but when I'm just like really hungry, if I start eating, does my stomach growl because I'm eating now?
Hmm.
I don't feel like it does.
I don't think mine does that. Yeah. So this is really funny. Now that he's out of his cage, he immediately runs to the pet flap. And he just hits it head on and bounces off of it. Because it's locked. And then Talltail like scratches at the two leg, and then Jake is defending the two leg. It's a whole thing.
Just like in Harry Potter.
What?
Remember when Harry and Ron were trying to get into the platform?
Oh yes,
And
it
it
is
didn't
just like
work?
Harry Potter. Except they didn't want to make dirt.
Well,
You don't know.
maybe wait a minute.
I guess I don't. I don't think they talked about that in the book.
No, but J.K. Rowling did it on Twitter. Did you not see that?
Would've.
It was horrific. It was like before she got like really, really into turfy shit. And it was like the first time I remember people like canceling J.K. Rowling. It was because she tweeted some shit that was like somebody on Twitter like asked her how students go to the bathroom at Hogwarts and like where the bathroom or like what happens with all the staircases, I think was the thing. When like students have to go to the bathroom and the staircase just keeps changing and they can't find the bathroom. And her answer was like basically that like they almost never go to the bathroom anyway because they use magic, and so like they just are just constantly peeing and pooping in their pants and then like magicking it away.
Yeah,
And
I
so
did see that.
that is sort of semi-canonically just happening in the background, I guess, of every Harry Potter book and movie. It's just like people are just peeing.
Yeah.
That's something.
That is so crazy.
And people were like,
I feel
girl,
like
I think you need to stop being on the internet and calm down.
did they even know how to do that spell
I don't
when they were
know.
like
I don't
11?
think so.
Oh god. Where is
Yeah,
it
and like,
going?
I don't
You're
know.
saying like you can't just make things disappear, like and like you can transmute things, but you have to have something to transmute in the first place. Where's
Yeah,
it
I
going?
don't know, but I know I hate it.
It looks like
Eventually
you
I have
hate
to run.
something else here too.
I do. Okay. This, I hate it so much. So he's talking about wanting to, get out through the cat door, and it just keeps being called Jake's flap. Sometimes it's just flap, but it keeps going. Like I was already like, wow, they just keep saying flap. At this point, and it keeps going for so much longer, and more often it is Jake's flap specifically. And the one that made me say it originally was he looked helplessly at Jake's locked flap. What? Why are we doing this? Stop talking like that, please. I don't like it.
If you was like
Oh my god. I mean, it is locked at this point. They're not that close yet.
No, but he looks at Jake's locked flap and then says, I want to make dirt.
Oh my god.
It's terrible.
Okay. So then other stuff happens and like the two like brings Jake's bed in. And I did highlight this thing. Um, Jake shrugged. I don't understand exactly what he's saying, but I know what he means. I just say yes to everything. He seems to like that. And I've taught him the word for food. He tries to repeat it sometimes, but his accent is terrible. This is a really interesting addition to the two-leg cat language lore. So Jake invites Talltail into his bed, and he does. They're really moving fast.
They do.
They're sleeping
But it
together
is like
already.
this kind of weird, sort of tentative thing, I feel like. In a way that does make it feel
It
like it's not
is.
normal. Like it's normal for cats to sleep with each other. That's a normal thing. So this like weird like hesitantness is really something.
Yeah, yeah. He really makes that step. They make a big deal out of it. Does anybody have anything else for this chapter?
well, there's Sangors haunting him from beyond the grave.
Yeah, it sucks how he died and we still aren't free of him.
Nope.
Okay, I guess we're on to the next.
Yay. Alright. Summary time. Another long chapter. Talltail and Jake elope together as soon as they can get out of the house. Jake doesn't seem to question what Talltail is planning on doing for revenge. Supportive or enabling? They see a kitty pet and they walk a lot and they look for a cat who knows everything.
That's a great summary.
It's very good.
Wow, no one's ever said these things about my summaries before. What changed?
I think your
You put
summaries
more
changed.
effort.
Well, here's a very whoever wrote the Cliff Notes put a lot of effort into the first one for chapter 31. It is the next morning.
Telltale desperately wants to escape. Jake wonders why.
Telltale reluctantly tells Jake the story of how Sparrow and Sandgorse went into an unstable tunnel, and Sparrow left his father behind, and now he has to find Sparrow to get revenge. Jake wants to help. Telltale reluctantly agrees to let Jake go with him to the end of the two-leg place. Jake's end of the deal is for Telltale to be nice to Jake's two-leg in order to be let out.
Though very reluctant, Telltale pretends to like Jake's two-leg and in turn gets let out.
The two Toms make their way to two-leg place. First meeting Quince, who Jake seems to have a crush on. What?
Oh my god, they really said that.
Not true.
I don't know about that.
What? How did this make it into the wiki?
What book did
I
they
didn't
read?
pick up on that at all.
Either. And we would have.
Yeah.
We'll
All
see.
right. Jake takes Telltale to Jay, though unnamed. They run into Pixie and Marmalade. The latter is not named. Instead. What?
Who wrote this?
Oh my god, what is even happening in the Cliff Notes for chapter 31? So chapter 31 here, Talltail is a stupid dumb idiot. He wonders why the glass didn't melt when he breathed on it because he thinks it's ice. And then he pushed at it with his forepaws, hoping it would crack, but it didn't.
Yeah, he has a thing or two to learn.
Yeah, it seems like he's never seen humans or the things that they have in his whole life.
Oh, so we didn't make a note of this, but they do talk about how I guess this two-leg lives right on the border of ThunderClan, which I guess also makes sense because like Jake is related to Firestar. And that's where he came from. Oh, and then the two-leg is doing something to Talltail, taking him up. What's exactly happening? Oh, he put Talltail back into the vet basket. And Talltail hisses, "I hate you" through the mesh. That's funny.
It's so good.
And then also, I'll shred you. Okay, and then he's stuck in the vet basket, and he like works at the mesh like with his paws. And it says at last, when his claws were bleeding and his pads felt as if they were on fire, then he stopped. Like, oh my god.
You'd think the two-leg would notice that his paws are bloody and then wouldn't let him go out.
I mean,
Yeah.
if a cat was freaking out that bad, I'd probably walk away. It's like, you can't let him out.
Yeah.
He's gonna attack you as soon as he gets out. You have to wait for it to calm down.
Yeah. He said that he hated you and that he'll shred you. And then they're talking some more. Jake now knows about his mission, and he wants to help. Telltale's like, why? And then Jake is like, you need me.
And then points out that a poison rat nearly got himself killed.
Yeah. That's a good point. Then he's gonna enact his plan of like purring, and then the two-leg will let his guard down, and then they will escape. Which is exactly what happens.
So, once again, I don't understand how he understands the mesh, but not the window. How often is he encountering mesh?
The window seems a lot more simpler too.
Yeah. But nope, he gets mesh.
Imagine if you're this two-leg. Like this is such an interesting two-leg, honestly. It like your cat leads you outside to this like sick poisoned cat. Then you like rescue it and take it to the vet, and like try to speak cat. Then like this cat is really mean to you, and then the cat's really nice to you, and then this cat and like just your regular cat that you have leave. They both run away. Poor two-leg.
And it all happens in the span of like one night and afternoon.
Yeah. He's the flap sprang free and he hared across the grass, and the two-leg is hooting behind.
Haired.
Then I meet Quince.
Yeah. I didn't really care about this, but now I want to find out if there's some romance here.
This is a she-cat.
So with Princess.
Yes. Yeah,
So
Jake is bi. I think we know that.
how many girlfriends does he have, though?
Hmm.
I'm not getting anything from this.
Jake is like, "Hello, Quince. There was a purr in his mew," and then Quince is like, "Hello, Jake," returning the purr. So
They're
like maybe
friends?
from
No,
that,
I don't.
what else happens?
That's it. That's it.
Maybe when Jake left the other day, he went to visit one of his girlfriends or boyfriends.
I mean, it seems likely knowing Jake, but yeah. Yeah, that was it. Just because they're purring at each other?
Yeah, it was just a very friendly greeting.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't believe they said that in the clip notes.
Yes, I object.
And like to say that it seems like Jake has a crush on Quince and not like if anything, they both have a crush on each other or like like it's equal. Okay. Well, very interesting. Very weird. Jake warns Talltail not to tread on broken glass. Talltail nodded. He'd never seen glass before.
He's so
Oh
dumb.
god. Yeah. Well, we really did not make a lot of notes here.
Mm-mm. I remember reading this for a long time, being like, "There's nothing interesting happening." They're just kind of like walking, yeah, across the two-leg place, and they're not really like talking all that much or just anything.
Yeah. Until it seems like they find some homeless people. Because there's, like, I don't know where this is, an alley, some sort of place. Talltail's alarmed because he sees fire, but it's just two legs keeping themselves warm. There'll be cats too, hoping for food. I think it's some homeless people. And Jake does say that the two legs and the cats are both aren't friendly. Okay, and then they like go. Oh, so the whole point is they're like going to this cat who knows a lot of things, and like there's some sort of society or like group of cats, and then they like encounter some of them, and then that's it.
Yeah, it's sort of a cliffhanger. Yes. Ends with, "You stupid
Yeah.
kitty pet, you've led us into a trap."
That's crazy. What's gonna happen next?
I don't think much.
We'll find out next time on Miouooo, a Warrior Cats podcast. Or podcasts. Okay, favorite and least favorite parts of the episode.
My favorite is when Jake said that the two legs accent was terrible.
Mhm.
My least favorite was the horrible descriptions of the agony that Talltail had to go through with his rat poisoning. It's really just it's just not fun to read how horrible these things. Poor cat.
I think my favorite part was Talltail saying, "I hate you." And my least favorite part might have been the window stuff. I don't know. Those are both from the last chapter, so maybe it's recency bias.
I think my least favorite is Jake's flap.
Oh god, Jake's
I
flap.
did not enjoy that. And my favorite is the image of a cat that you've just rescued running full speed into what is basically a wall.
Oh my
I'm
god,
laughing
your
at it.
selections are excellent. Well, what a great episode. I really enjoy these chapters.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.